Hello, and welcome to another episode of Vessel and Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Kim Charlson. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing what happens if you give up money as your driver in life and what is actually driving you behind your desire for more money. Let's get into it. Today's episode is actually a question that I wanted to ask Monty, and that I felt like having the pressure of recording the podcast would help me get a clearer answer. Money has been a big issue for so many of us in our lives, especially in the current kind of political climate conditions right now. Money is something that everyone's focused on with inflation, with food insecurities, with everything that's going on. Money is a main motivating factor for all of us trying to figure out how can I get more money to get stability in my life, to get the things that I want, to make my dreams possible. That money feels in many ways like the obstacle that is preventing us from getting what we want. So for me, when I show up to record these podcasts, I often really make sure that I am in the channeling state because there's a certain amount of I'm doing it for the collective. I'm doing it for you as the listener, and I want to make sure I'm doing it very well. Whereas sometimes in my own personal practice, the pressure's not there. I don't necessarily take as much time to prepare, that I'm kind of doing it as part of my daily practices and doing it a bit more on the fly. So I asked this question for Monty, and I am very excited to share the answer with you. It has helped clarify some things for me. And as a reminder, we've already done a couple of episodes really on money and what money is. So we're going to link those below in the show notes so you can listen to other topics that we have discussed about money previously. But let's hear from Monty and what he has to share about how we can really recalibrate our driver in life and the decision maker of money. Most humans see money as one of their main drivers of why they exist and want to move forward in their lives. That many of the projects or actions that they take are motivated by money. That money is the reason why they show up to work every day, the reason why they want to acquire certain objects in their lives as a reflection of their financial abundance, the reasons why they may have fear or anxiety about the eventualities that they see happening, though they may be incorrect. Money is at the core of many of these things. But as we have shared before in previous episodes, money is truly pure energy moving from one place to another. It is not an energy in of itself so much as it is an energy mechanism for movement. So when someone says my main motivator in life is money and that I wish to acquire more money, what they are truly saying is that I wish to have more energy. And they typically want to exchange this money for energy in a certain format, in a certain presence in their lives. And this also goes for those individuals that have copious amounts of money that they could never spend in one lifetime, that they have acquired massive amounts of wealth in a monetary format, such as billionaires, trillionaires, etc. And what they are truly doing is saying, I need more energy. And in the format that it is coming in of money, I am giving it a specific meaning. As we have discussed before in previous episodes about money, it is this understanding that money is pure energy that is the basis for this discussion of what happens when you give up money as your main motivator force of the reason why you are behaving in certain ways. Money, in its essence, is pure energy and can therefore be many things to many people. For many of those that have copious amounts of wealth and money, it is often that they see money as the energy of power, the energy of influence. Someone else may see money as the energy of freedom, to make different choices, to do different things with their lives than what the status quo that has been presented to them is. Other people may see money as stability, as a way to get what they need in life, to make sure that their needs are met. All of these different viewpoints of money are true because, again, money is purely energy. The format that this energy is taking, however, is what you are giving it energetically. It is your intention setting about how you view money, how you treat money, how you interact with money, and how you want to acquire more of it. When money is your main driver in life, the motivating factor, it is truly, actually, underneath its core that you are motivated by bringing into form some other type of energy. It is not truly money that you want. It is what you believe that money is that you want. So first, to begin to break down that essence of why it motivates you is to understand what money represents to you, what money is energetically for you yourself. It may be some of the things that we gave examples of already, or it may be something entirely different. Money is purely a reflection of the deep desires that you have. Your understanding of money is both those desires that come from your soul, as well as those internalized, conditioned desires that are a product of external energies that you have internalized. And it can be difficult to understand the difference between these two different motivations. Your soul motivations of bringing through different energies into manifest reality and working with them as an expression of your soul, or the expression of money as representative of beliefs of money and why you need it because of external ideas of what money is. Now, what is important to understand is that the difference between these two can be quite blurry until you get to know your soul at a much deeper level. Until you understand your soul, the difficulty becomes that you don't know what is your soul and what is these external conditioned beliefs that you have assumed as your own. Now, what does it mean to give up money as your motivating factor? Well, it is to first understand that money is not the thing that you truly want. It is that core desire that is underneath the concept of money for you, what money represents. It can be multiple things, as money can take on many facets, as energy in its pure form can be made into many different things. So that is why money can both be power and freedom and stability to one person. First, understanding the motivating factor behind why you want money is going to help you decondition those external beliefs that you have about money as the motivating factor. For example, if you are someone who grew up with a decided lack of money in your childhood, you may see money not only as a source of stability and safety, but also as something that is difficult to hold, that is difficult to come into possession of. But when you view it from the perspective of that it is pure energy, what you are saying is that the energy of stability and safety are highly desirable to you. But you have difficulty working with energy because you do not believe that energy is something that is accessible to you, in the same way that you have beliefs that are conditioned in you, that you believe money is not accessible to you, or that money represents safety and security, stability. All of these things are conditioned beliefs because of the conditions in which you grew up. It is not merely the absence of money, but the absence of energy in its many different forms that you are feeling. The absence of being able to have money to transfer into products, into activities, into different ways of experiencing the world that were inaccessible to you because of the lack of money. It was the lack of energy at its core of what you were lacking in your life. But as you have been doing your spiritual work of where you are coming into your own awareness now, you understand that energy is limitless. Money is just a transference of energy from one form to another. It is a mechanism through which humanity transfers energy from one place to another. So when you view it from the perspective of your soul, instead of that money is limitless to me because money is merely energy moving from one place to another, the idea of money being in lack in your life is not something that is an accessible belief to your soul. Your soul does not understand this perspective in that way. It says, well, of course, money is not something that I should ever lack because there is a limitless abundance of energy. Now, you may be thinking, but Monty, I need money and its format to be able to live my life, to be able to pay my bills. And this is true. We do not deny that. You, in your human incarnate form, do need energies in certain formats to be able to live. Money for one, food for another, shelter, water, warmth, all of the things that humanity needs to survive in incarnation are all formats of energy. So, investigating first the conditioned beliefs that you have about money will uncover what is conditioned for you and what is not. Your soul may be in the position of wanting to seek out safety and security. And so it does agree with, I would like to have safety and security in the format of money. We are not saying that that is not possible, but rather that observing the sources of where these beliefs come from about money will help you identify what you are truly working towards. And then becomes the question of, is that something that I myself desire? Is that something that my soul wants to experience in physical formats in the world? And when it comes to then money of energy in its physical form of saying, but I must work for money, I must make decisions that allow me to access the physical form of energy in money. What we would say is what you really want are the things that money gives you, those underlying beliefs about what money is. And investigating those are really the decisions of your drivers of how to release money and instead care about the things that you truly want. So, for example, you say, Monty, I need money to pay my bills so I can have a roof over my head, so I can have security, safety, the things my human body needs. And again, we are not denying that. But we say instead of making decisions based off of what will give me money, making decisions based off of what will cultivate the energy to take formats of security, of safety, of what I believe the roof over my head gives me. And that is your driver, rather than saying, I need money. It is reframing the desires that you have to understand what is yours and what is not yours. Now, what happens when you do this is that you begin to view the world from a very different perspective. Instead of saying, I must do things that sacrifice myself, sacrifice my safety, my security, my stability to get money, you instead realize that there are different ways that you could get safety and security and stability in other energetic forms of focusing on the pure energy, cultivating that within by accessing that energy that is available to you in your soul will then draw opportunities to you where money is not even involved because you are superseding the need for money. You are superseding the need for the ability to have money in your energetic abilities, the need for money to be the thing that you are manifesting. Rather, you are saying, I want security, I want safety. I am going to cultivate the energy of security, safety, stability inside of myself. And once I have done that, I am going to make choices from that position of what actions I am going to take, rather than saying, this will give me the most amount of money and then therefore the most amount of stability. Because in many ways, when you make money your motivator to do what you want, to get what you want, it often comes at the sacrifice of the thing that you are actually seeking. When you instead cultivate that energy from inside that you are actually seeking, by the law of attraction, new opportunities arise for you to obtain those things, both through situations where an energetic exchange through money occurs, as well as where money does not play a role at all. When you release the driver of money for your actions, you open up to a new possibility. And when you reside in the energy of the thing that you want, you are ready for those opportunities to create what feels like very lucky scenarios. We hope that this clarifies what happens if you release money as your driver. That is all. It seems so obvious sometimes when we get channeled guidance. And this is one of those episodes where I'm like, no, duh, Kim. This is something that Monty has been sharing for quite some time. Money is just an avenue for energy to get from one place to the other and is not actually the thing that is driving you. It is the thing that you think money is going to give you that is driving your decisions. And for me, a lot of my money decisions comes from fear of lack of security, lack of being able to make my dreams possible. And that comes up very often right now with the cost of inflation and being hit by yet another thing going up. It makes me feel as though at times I can't make my dreams come true because there's not enough money. What do I think money can do for me? Well, that's multifaceted, but I often have a fear response that is driving me. And that also means that to a certain extent, I think money is going to alleviate that fear. Well, I'm not sure that that's actually true now in listening to what Monty has shared in this podcast episode about my driving and understanding of how money is playing a role in my life. That if fear is the motivation behind money, is that really the motivation I want to be using to build my life? Well, no, not really. So I have a lot of inner work myself to do around this to help me come to terms with what I am actually wanting to make my driver moving forward and reconnecting with the soul energies that I really actually want to be the things that I'm working with and working towards. I have a feeling that this one probably calls you out in the same way maybe that it calls out me. So I hope that this episode helps you. And if you have any additional questions about money, about manifestation, please send us a text. Let us know how this episode is resonating with you. And if you have anything else that you would wonder about when it comes to working with the energy of money. We will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for being here with us today.